Welcome to our today's talk show, and I have for the third time our very special guest, Petem Game from Eastbourne, from the United Kingdom. So Pete, welcome.
Can you still see me? Because my screen's gone blank.
I can see you, yes. Yes.
I can't see anything.
No, really, but I can see you. It's good. No problem.
Hang on. There's something gone on my screen. Okay, well, it's good to be with you today. Thank you for making me welcome. I can now see you. Okay,
that's fine. So I will just remind. We have met twice. The first time you were talking about your start, how you started, how you came to Jesus, and how you started your ministry. And then the second time it was about your ministry with Philipa Mohabira and with the connections and so on. And today I would like to ask you about the ministry in our country, because so many people, they know you and like you and so on. So tell me how it started, how you came to the Czech Republic, you were surprised or even shocked or whatever.
Okay. So as I talk, you're going to translate, yeah?
No. I will put just the subtitles, so it will be only in English.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, it's really good to have this opportunity to speak with you all again. And coming to the Czech Republic has really been a big thing in my life, and it's had a major impact on me. Back in 2003, that's a long time ago, Philipa Mohabira was speaking at a conference in Germany, and with him was a man called Lee Lacoste, who at that time used to travel to the Czech Republic. Lee is from the United States, but his circumstances changed and he was no longer going to be traveling to Europe. That's why Philip was with him in Germany. Well, the next year in 2004, Philip received a request from the Czech Republic from a man called Tomáš Kácha in Melnik. He wrote to Philip and said, I met you last year in this conference, and I wondered if you could send somebody to come and minister in our church and also to speak at a seminar. Well, when discussions were held in connections, Philip was talking, and they decided that they would send Petem Game. I must confess, I didn't know anything about the Czech Republic. I didn't know exactly where, I knew roughly where it was, but I'd never been here. And if I'm honest, I had no sense of God calling me to come to this nation. But being part of an apostolic team, I was in the team and I was just open for anything. Many times Philip had sent me to other nations or to other situations that I just went because there was nobody else, or he felt I was the right person to go. So we made contact with Thomas, and I came to Czech Republic in January 2005. Now, what was quite amazing was that Philip felt this should be where I should come. But unfortunately, Philip had been very ill through 2004. And at the end of November in that year, he died. So Philip had gone to be with the Lord even before I'd got to fulfill his last instruction to me, which was to go to the Czech Republic. So when I came, I didn't know what to expect. I arrived at your airport in Prague, and all I had was a photograph. I wasn't walking with a mobile phone. I had nothing with me. And I got to the airport, I came out into the arrivals, and there was nobody to meet me. So I'm thinking, wow, this will be interesting. And then eventually I saw this man and his wife, Thomas and Renata. They come rushing into the airport and come up and said, are you Petem Game? Thomas couldn't really speak much English, but Renata was very good. And so they collected me, put me in their car and drove me to Melnik. Well, everything looked so strange to me as I drove out through Prague and up to Melnik. It was a whole new experience, and I didn't know what to expect. It was something which I thought would be well, I don't know. Anyway, I got there and I went and stayed with them in their apartment with their family. They had a son and two daughters, and I think they had some guinea pigs and some other pets. And it was, you know, they looked after me so well. They gave me a nice bed and everything. They really looked after me and made me so welcome. And then Thomas was telling me that they planned on the Saturday that's having a seminar, and I had to talk about the fivefold ministries, the gifts in Ephesians chapter 4. And on the Friday night, I arrived there on Thursday. On the Friday night, we had a church meeting, and Renata was translating for me. She struggled a bit because I'm English, and she'd worked with mainly American people. And on Saturday, they brought another man from Prague who they said was better, be a better translator for me. And but he also had only worked with American people. So somebody from England was different accent and different phrases, so it was quite hard for them. And I must confess, I found it a very difficult meeting. All these people turned up. I didn't know anybody in the room. I'd only just met Thomas and Renata. I didn't know anybody else. And all these mainly Czech men were just sitting there looking very serious. And I didn't know what to make of it, because when you go overseas, in England, I can use some humor and you can interact with people. But here was so difficult because of language. And here's a new culture. And I really wondered what was actually happening. I wondered if anybody was really interested. But when I was teaching about these gifts, the apostle, the prophet, the evangelist, the pastor, and the teacher, I did say that, you know, when you get apostolic or prophetic ministry come into a church, that, you know, they should at least have something from God, like may only be an individual word for somebody, but there should be something of the Holy Spirit moving that would make a difference. And just as I said that, I felt God gave me a word of knowledge, really, about somebody in the room. There was a pastor there who was so discouraged that he wanted to go home, and he was going to give up being a pastor. He was going to resign his job and do something else. And I felt that God was saying, you don't have to do that. God wants you to carry on. Well, the meeting finished, and it was quite strange for me. Everybody all stood up at once. They all walked out the room. Some of them shook my hand and all looked very glum, and it's very difficult. It's such a different culture to what I'm used to. And so I'm standing there in this room on my own. I'm literally on my own. I thought, well, what was that all about? That seemed so difficult. And then the door opened, and one man came back and put his head in the door, and he said, excuse me. He said, did anyone come for prayer about that word you gave? I said, no. He said, oh, that's me. And this person came, and he could speak a little English, so we talked. And then I prayed with him, and off he went. And I remember after everybody had gone, I went back to the Thomas and Renata's apartment, and we're sitting there because people had come from Prague and from other places all around. Thomas had invited leaders from different places. And Thomas said to me, he said, do you think anybody's interested in your ministry? And I said, no, I don't think so. I said, but I didn't come for them. I realized God has sent me to encourage them and to be with them. So I felt that that was my main reason for being there. And so we had service on Sunday, and on Monday I left to go home. And I remember about 3 weeks later thinking, well, I went to the Czech Republic. And I thought, well, I don't think I will probably go there again. And then all of a sudden I got an email from a man called Petem Kácha from a church in Prague. And he said, oh, we're at your seminar, and we'd like to invite you to come to our church. And then he said, could you come? He told me a bit about their church. I knew from Thomas, it was quite a large church, and I knew a little bit because of what I've been told. So I wrote back and said, yes, I can come. I can come for about 6 or 10 days. something like that, so I could be there for 2 weekends. And Peter wrote back and he said, "Oh, you want to come for that long?" He said, "Most people only come for 3 days." So I said, "Well, if you want to get to know me and I get to know you, then we have to spend some time together." And so later that year, I think in the month of May, I came back to the Czech Republic, and now I was going to just be in Prague, and I was going to meet Petem Kácha. I couldn't remember what he looked like because I only knew his name. I couldn't remember everybody I met in the meeting. And so he met me at the airport, and then also I met Lubomir and the other leaders from Prague, and we just had time getting to know one another and spending some time there. And that was the start of something. And then they invited me back again later that year. So all of a sudden, from never having been to Czech Republic, I've been there 3 times within about 9 or 10 months, which was quite amazing for me. And the thing that I realized that when I got to know these people, that yes, your culture is different, but what I found is that you really accepted me. It made me so welcome. The way you cared for me, people looked after me. It was amazing. People would collect me in a car, take me here, take me there. I think you thought that being an Englishman, I couldn't travel on a bus or metro on my own, but eventually you let me loose and I've been able to travel all over the country on public transport. And so out of this time, we started to develop relationship so that we could find out how we could serve each other. Because, you know, one of the things when you travel in ministry like I do, you must never forget that it's not just what I can bring to people, but it's also what they can add to my life and to what I'm involved in. And I've received so much being involved in the Czech Republic. And so I started to come. And then one day I was in Prague and they said, "Oh, on Saturday we have a pastors conference." They talked to me about the whole setup of KS, and they was having one of their pastors' days, and they invited me to be there with them. And Peter and Lubomir, they introduced me to the other pastors. And then out of that, different pastors started to ask me if I could go and visit their church. And so I started to travel around the town. At first, Peter used to more or less take me everywhere. And then eventually he would just take me and put me on a coach or put me on a train. And then people would collect me the other end until I learned how to travel around the country. So it's been an amazing time for me. And I tell people now, when people here in UK ask me about my travels, I tell them my second home is the Czech Republic, because over these last 16 years, I've spent more time in the Czech Republic than any other nation. And so I call it my second home. And I just count it such a privilege to be there.
Yeah, and the Czech food, right? Like Czech.
Yeah, I like the Czech food. I like dumplings. I don't drink beer and I don't drink cola, but otherwise I like your food. And I don't drink fruit tea, but I like black tea and I like your coffee. I don't like Czech coffee where you just throw it all in the cup, but you know, I've gradually learned to love your food, and I love the people. And what is so good is so many people now can speak some English. I'm still no good at speaking your language, but a lot of people can speak some English. So even when I'm at a railway station, there's always somebody there that can seem to help me if I got stuck because somebody doesn't understand me. So it's been really amazing. And then to go to the different churches, I think what has been the first thing, 2 things I had noticed when I first come was that in the churches I went to, all these KS churches, mainly KS churches, how many young people were there. In many places, I'm always the oldest person in the room. There's so many young people, and that is so encouraging, and I like that. At first, when I come, everybody looks so serious, and people used to seem to be so negative. You know, always would talk about the problem rather than the answer. But it's interesting to see over the years how that has changed, and people now are much more positive. When you understand your culture and your background and all that you have as a nation been through, I understand why people are more towards negative than positive. But what is the good news is to see how people are being transformed by the power of Jesus, to see how lives are being changed and people are being encouraged and equipped. So I've really found that helpful. And then, as I said, I started to travel around. I've had the privilege to go to some of the pastors' day conferences. I've been able to speak at some of them, and that's always lovely to get together and meet with other leaders all together. We have a weekend away or a day away in Prague. It's been really good. Also, one year I was invited to go and speak at the pastors' conference when their summer camp. That was really good to be there and just to relax and also have time seeking God. And the other thing that I've enjoyed doing is that now about 4 or 5 times I've been away, either on a church weekend where church has gone away for a weekend and I've gone away with them and we've been able to do some of the ministry there, but also to see other people ministering and to receive from them. And the other thing we've done now, I think about 4 times, we've been away to church summer holidays where you've gone away on holiday together, and we've been invited, myself and Diane have come, and we've been there with you, spent the holiday with you, and also done the meetings. And the people always love it when Diane comes because the women like to get her to speak to them and they can ask questions. And she finds that really interesting and she enjoys that. And it's just good to be able to be, I think the most important thing is that people have accepted us. They view us as their family, like there's their homes I've been in where when I stayed there, the first or second time, their children were like just a little baby, and you sit there holding the baby because, you know, or even feeding it with a bottle and looking after them. And then you see these children grow up. That's really wonderful to see the change in people, to see the growth in the different people. So I've found that as a real privilege, and being in the Czech Republic, I've learned so much. And what I liked once was that I was with one leader, and he said to me, "Oh, Peter," he said, "you are so different from all the other visiting ministries." So I made good English jokes, saying, "Oh, am I that bad? Am I really terrible?" He said, "No, no." He said, "You are different." And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Well," he said, "you've come here and you've become our friend." He said, "So many people have come from other parts of, you know, Western Europe or from America, and they've come with the attitude that, you know, they're going to come in and take over and set up their ministries here and show us how to do things. Whereas, you know, you've come here and you're just our friend." And that's what I realized is as I travel to different nations, there are different ways of doing things. And as we learn, we can learn from each other. When you come with a heart to serve people, you learn so much from them. And I've learned so much being in the Czech Republic from the different leaders and the different churches. And it's such a privilege to do that. So what is amazing now is here we are, as I'm doing this final leg of my interview, here we are. It's like 16 years ago since I first come to the Czech Republic. Now, last year, 2020, and this year, 2021, it hasn't been possible to come to you because of COVID. But one of my top priorities for next year is to come back to the Czech Republic, because I want to visit my second home. I want to see how people are doing. I want to hear how you've been coping, because, you know, here in England, I know in other countries too, one of the things we've had because of COVID, yes, we've had all the technology. We've been able to Zoom and meet with people and do that. That's great. But, you know, we've been lacking fellowship, real face-to-face fellowship. And some people are now not getting back into meeting together yet. The Bible is clear. It tells us, let's not stop meeting together, as some people are in the habit of doing. We know that the government put restrictions for health reasons, but they're now lifted. So we need to really get back together. We need each other. There's something in each one of us that other people need. And so it's very important that we learn to do those things because as we do that, we strengthen one another. And, you know, I've just been looking at that now. How can we strengthen one another? And recently, I was just reading through the book of Hebrews, and in chapter 10 and the beginning of chapter 12, there's 7 things it tells us we need to do. We need to have this whole attitude where we can come into God's presence, and you know, we need to come confidently, but we also need to encourage one another. We need not to give up meeting together. We need to really provoke one another to love and good works. We all need each other. Everybody needs other people around them. We can't live in loneliness and isolation, because that is really what works against us. So, you know, it's been such an amazing thing coming to your nation. I've learned so much, and you know, I've seen God do some amazing things there. I was just thinking about this the other day. Some years ago now, I'd written a book called Receiving God's Faith, and some people translated it for me into the Czech language, and we're getting it published. And you know, one day I was in Czech Republic, and I knew I forgot I had to pay a bill to Jan, who done the Samuels, who done the publishing for me. And as I travel around the churches, you all very generously give me gifts, not just myself, but so we can help people in parts of Africa and parts of India. And we're able to take the money you give and bless other people. That's been another amazing thing. You have so blessed us financially. I've never come home out of pocket. I've been so well looked after. I've been able to pay my expenses and keep a little bit for myself, but the rest I've been able to put into our ministry and help people in other countries. And you know, you've helped me feed people, you've helped me clothe people. But I had this book and I had it published, and I needed to pay some money. And I'd made a mistake. I'd gone to the bureau and I changed all the Czech crowns into English pounds, ready for going home. And then I realized that I had 2 days to go, and I realized I needed 10,000 Czech crowns to finish paying this bill. And I thought, oh, I was so cross with myself. So I thought, I just prayed about it. I said, Lord, oh, I'm sorry, I should have changed all the money. I just prayed about what to do. Should I go and change money? What should I do? And then I got a text message, because that's one of the things that when I'm in Czech Republic, Kartis Prague, they're very kind. They give me a little mobile phone. So when I'm around, they can, I think Peter does it so he can keep track of me to make sure I'm behaving myself. And once he phoned me and he couldn't get an answer. And he eventually got through. He said, I kept phoning. He said, but your phone was off. What was? I said, oh, I was in an important meeting. He said, oh, I didn't know you had a meeting today. I said, yes, I was in the coffee shop at the bottom of the shopping mall, drinking coffee and reading an English newspaper. I didn't want to be disturbed. But anyway, I got a message on my mobile phone, and this person said, we've been praying and God told us to give you some money. Would you like English pounds or Czech crowns? So I just said, I just text back, I said, Czech crowns will be wonderful. And anyway, they then said whether they were going to leave the money for the gift for me. And when I got there and I was given this envelope, they said, oh, this was left for you. And I opened it. Inside there was the 10,000 Czech crowns I needed. And I said, well, God can do anything. You know, God knows how to meet. Now, I've had so many miracles in so many places. And that is amazing what God's done for us. Out of the Czech Republic, He's blessed us in such a way that we can bless other people around the world. So we become partners in the gospel, and different churches at times have said, we want to help you with a project here or a project there. And that again has made a lot of difference. So when I write to people, I can tell them, your brothers and sisters in the Czech Republic have given me this gift to help you with that. So it's amazing. I'm like a connecting link. People in perhaps, let's say in Kenya have a need. And people in Czech Republic I know who don't know the people in Kenya, but they both know me, and they give me something in my left hand and I can put it in my right hand and give it to the people in Kenya. So being together, we become like partners together in the gospel. And that's what we see in the Bible. That is what like Paul and the other people who traveled around. They were partners. They were helping people, giving help from one place, and they was able to give it to somebody else. So that's been a real blessing out of the Czech Republic, to really be able to help and bless other people. So I've learned so much from being in your nation. It's such a privilege. And I know that as soon as it's possible, I want to come back and not just be in Prague. I want to travel to the north, the south, the east, the west. I want to visit as many people as I can that I've known before. I've been so encouraged by you, and your love and your faith and your acceptance has been a real blessing to us. So I think I've probably said enough now about my time in Czech Republic. I could keep talking about perhaps when I was in what happened in, say, Česká republika, or down in some other part of the country, down in Klatovy or Kladno or other places I've been to. But I just feel that's it. I give a good overview. And thank you to every one of you in the Czech Republic for your love, for your prayers, for your acceptance, for your support, for your hospitality. I want to tell you, you're a very, very special nation, and I count it such a privilege. And I see that this is a great blessing from God to me to send me to your nation. I must confess, as I said, I didn't know, I never had that desire to come, but once I came there, God put there's something God put in my heart from you, the way you've loved me and accepted me. And so it's such a privilege to be with you. So God bless you, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the coming future. But as I close, I just want to pray for you. And my prayer is based from Romans 15, verse 13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, that you might overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. God bless you. Thank you again, Peter, and for all the other people behind the scenes that make these videos to put out, just to bless other people. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to being with you. Diane sends her love, and we hope to see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Well, it was supposed to be a talk show, but it was not so much talk show. Okay, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But hearing you, it seems to me like when you are able to come, so you will come for a couple of, not weeks, but a couple of months probably next time.
Well, I will probably come for. I'll probably make 2 or 3 trips next year, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of Czech Church, I would like also to thank you for your ministry. Well, it started 16 years ago when we were all much younger and more handsome and slimmer and everything like that. And but thank you for your encouragement and your example, and so it was really your love, your kindness. But the first time we met you, so we were quite impressed by the 2 things. They were connected. It was the first thing was kind of spiritual maturity, and the second thing was this passion and charismatic passion and charismatic movement together. Okay, so it was something what we didn't see here so often, and so we were glad that there is someone who is older, even like 1 generation older than we were, someone who has been so many years with Jesus, someone who can be teaching, and it's really solid and mature, but also there is a lot of zeal, there is a lot of passion to use the spiritual gifts and to pray for people. So this connection was really amazing for us. Okay, so it was good. We have a lot of funny stories. Maybe we can do some very extra part for funny stories from the Czech Republic, or maybe not. A lot of funny stories. One of the funny stories was when I was writing the places where you were going. So I just told them just prepare for Petem Game a bottle of beer, a bottle of Coca-Cola, and and some of the people they really didn't understand it was a joke, and so they did it. Okay. Okay, so this is it. So thank you very much. Now you made a promise. You have made a promise that you would come. So the people, they see the video, the people, they know you and they like you, so they can start negotiating about the time and so on, and schedule and everything. Okay. So you are both well with Diane. You are both healthy in your new house. You moved like 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago?
No, nearly 3 years now.
3 years now, wow.
3 years in 1 month's time.
Okay, so 3 years ago you moved to a smaller house, which is like a bungalow, like
That's right, yeah,
downstairs without stairs. And not so far from the place where you used to live before, right?
Yeah, quite near, yeah.
Yeah, okay, in Eastbourne, because we know it's Petem Game from Eastbourne, UK, of course. So this is it, and you have started traveling and preaching in UK because now the situation is better with COVID, right?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so thanks a lot. God bless you. Thanks for your sharing. Thanks for your love. Thanks for your warm words. We really appreciate that. I also thank you for watching. Even though you are from the Czech Republic, or even though you are from other countries, I'm not sure how much time Pete has or will have, so you can invite him, but but he said he will spend most of the time next year in the Czech Republic, so that's it. Okay, Pete, so God bless you, and thank you for today's talk show or sharing, and I hope we will see each other soon.
Yeah, amen. Bless you.
Amen.
Okay, God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.